Hey guys, lately I've been adding a tag to my videos saying R-rated, hide your kids, and then somebody in the comments was like, yeah, your videos are all they're already R-rated. And I was like, dude, they're PG-13. I was like, this one's extra R-rated. So hide your kids again, because when I talk about when I talk about Antifa, I tend to get, I can't control my cursing, like, for real. I can, I just don't want to, because they're such fucking assholes. But anyway, so I'm just catching up with things. I saw that poor guy, that poor journalist that got bullied and like mobbed by Antifa. And I saw somebody's channel the other day, and I don't remember his channel, so forgive me. I think the name of his video was like, Antifa, you're doing this all wrong about Antifa, you got something, you got it all wrong about Antifa, the way you're going about handling Antifa is wrong, something to that effect. He's black, he has a beard. If you guys want to know who I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. But he's right, because these assholes, like, why are we waiting for like people in higher authority to do something about them? Because they're part of the problem. They're telling the police to stand down. If the police jumped on these little fuckers and beat the shit out of them or arrested them immediately, then they wouldn't be doing this shit. So the only reason that they're doing this shit is that they know that they can get away with it. Are we trying not to act like that, they didn't try to burn down a whole fucking city 2 years ago in Berkeley, trying to like break in for Midal, who's like a comedian, right? And kill him. These kids need their ass kicked, right? I have a story about this guy that I went to high school with. He was a jerk. He was really mean. He was very manipulative. He would, make up rumors about people and mess up people's lives. He was a total asshole. And one day after school, I went to performing arts school, and his emphasis was dance. And he got into like a musical or something. It was overseas. And I guess during or after the show, he was in an alley smoking or something. And he thought he'd be a smart ass and blow some smoke in somebody's face. Well, they beat the shit out of him to the point where he was in like an intensive care and had to go to the hospital, okay? Now he's really nice. He's a nice guy. I've seen him since then. I was like, wow, he's really nice now. Yeah, he's really respectful now. Yeah, that's just what needs to happen to these fuckers. And there's part of me that has a little guilt, because as a teacher, I was when I really didn't understand what's going on, I was part of the indoctrination that's making these kids this way. And one of my fears is that I'll be out at these protests or outside, and I'll be confronted with some of my students. That was one of the things when I first noticed when I went out to these protests, because the cameras, I don't know, man, it's just a different angle. But I noticed that these kids were so young. And I remember I was outside in Austin by the Capitol, and as I'm walking up to the Capitol, everybody was really nice, and they're just like, hey, like, oh my god, blah 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 blah. I'm like, hey, what's up, blah blah blah. And then they saw me talking to some Trumpers, right? And then when I turned back around to leave, they all locked hands and tried to prevent me from leaving. And then I stepped over them. I stepped over their heads. And they were like, you can't do that. I'm like, I just did, you stupid asses. But I was like, wow, they're like in their 20s. They're so young, And then I think InfoWars was there. And then I guess I was going to comment, and they put the mic in my face to say something. And then this bitch comes by and she pushes the mic out of my face. And she's like, don't talk to them. I was like, bitch, I can talk to whoever I want to. Like, I was fucking livid. Then another time, I'm at a Trump rally, or it was like a Trump parade or whatever they had. And that day was weird too, because we were all trying to get our phones to work, and our phones were like messing up. We were trying to go live. I wanted to do like a live thing on the channel, but I couldn't get it to work. So I'm just like standing there trying to figure out why my camera's not working, my phone's not working. And this bitch just pushes me. Okay, I don't have any Trump paraphernalia on. It's not an indication of what side I'm on. I'm not cursing anybody out. I'm not yelling at anybody. I'm not hitting anybody. I'm not even talking to anybody. I'm like standing there looking down at my phone. And this bitch, with a cover face, of course, because they're so brave, just pushes me. And I pushed her back, and the cops were like, you can't do that. I was like, but that bitch pushed me first. Okay? So you can see this. It's called, like, Citizen Journalist. Oh, I forgot the name of it. It's on my channel. So I went out. I thought I might try and do more man on the streets, but I don't have the patience. I couldn't let people, like, dig me around like that and not, like, lose my fucking mind and just jump on somebody. Like, I'm real chill, I'm real nice until I'm not, okay? And a lot of people, they're like, oh, you're so sweet, Firstine, you're so nice, you're just so not if you piss me off. Nobody's really ever gets to see me mad. So, and I try to keep it that way because I don't like being mad. I don't like being angry. I know a lot of people get off, a lot of women get off like, I'm a bitch, I like being a bitch. I don't really like being a bitch. It's not, even with the whole, like, Candace Owens thing, that's, like, her thing about being, like, this snarky bitch that, like, just goes and, like, drops the mic on people. I'd rather not do that. I don't like the whole stereotypical angry black woman, like, thing. I try not to fit that, okay? I can, because I'm human and I get mad, but I'm not really about that. Anyway, so I go and I'm talking to this guy, and I was like, why are you here? And he's like, to fight fascism. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, what is fascism? And he goes, did you see Charlottesville? I was like, yeah, I had a friend there. Somebody got pepper sprayed, and he was like, yeah, well, there was like, can you believe Trump said that there was violence on both sides? I was like, I can, because there was. You didn't see, like, the other people. I was like, the mainstream media didn't show that, but the people that had cameras there were showing stuff. They didn't even show this in the mainstream media, that the Antifa people had, like, hairspray, like Aquanet, and were, like, using, like, lighters to make flamethrowers and shit like that. Like, they were throwing feces. I knew people that were there. They were throwing feces and urine on people. And the cameraman just got, like, guy is like, hey, you can't film here. And he's like, well, I'm just doing my job. I'm a cameraman. And the dude just fucking, like, walks up to him and sprays him in the face. Not hurting anybody, trying to do his job, right? Cameramen and journalists are really supposed to be neutral in documenting things. So you're not really, you're not supposed to hurt them, okay? But they do. And, that happened. I remember when Schroyer went to from InfoWars, went to a vigil it was last year. I think it was the Kate Steinle vigil that they had. Lady that got murdered by illegal immigrant, and the Kate's Law is named after. And the Antifa people were there with their faces covered, and they were, like, putting guns in his face and shit and taunting him like they were gonna shoot him. And then what else happened? Yeah, I mean, but these assholes are just. Oh, I know. I didn't finish showing you what happened with the dude that I was talking to. So then I was talking to the Charlottesville guy, or the guy that's, like, he's fighting fascism and shit. And I was like, well, yeah, there were violence on both sides. He's like, well, can I ask what your politics are? And I was like, oh, I'm probably, if I had to pick, I would say I'm more of, like, a libertarian or independent. He's like, I can't talk to you. And I was totally shocked. I was like, why? Because at that point, I wouldn't even say that I was really on either side. I was trying to toe the line and just be like, oh, well, it's just a misunderstanding. They're two sides. And, this is not, this is just kind of taken out of context. And maybe these people aren't as crazy as I think they are. I have to go and see for myself. Usually, I don't take people's word for stuff. I try and figure out as much as I can by myself before I really make a decision like that. So the guy walks away, and I was like, well, why don't you want to talk to me? Like, why? I'm like, why? Like, I was fascinated, also, like, dumbfounded at the same time. And then this 6-foot dude dressed in a unicorn onesie, I'm not shitting you, comes up to me and starts blowing a whistle in my face. And I got so mad that I grabbed his whistle and I wrapped it around my hand. And then him and his friends were like, look at her, oh my god, she's torturing us. I was like, you guys are fucking bigger than me. Either they were taller than me or they were wider than me. But in any case, they're, like, screaming. I'm, like, this short girl, and I took this dude's whistle, and they're, like, having a fucking meltdown. They had to call the cops to get me me to release this dude's whistle. If I can find the link later today, I'll put it in the links when I get home. But yeah, they had to get this dude, the cops, to get me to let go of the whistle. And then I was just like, these people are crazy. These people are crazy. I've been allergies. I've been always allergies in Austin. I've been revisiting the Unabomber Manifesto and how they're using the leftist mentality to brainwash people. And there's a paragraph in there where he was talking about they're going to use people of low self-esteem and insecurities to manipulate them and brainwash them. And I look at this stuff, it is like a form of like black magic mind control, right? I don't know, on so many levels, not just the kids that are are seriously hurting people, but on the level of the people who don't want to admit that they're wrong about the horrible trauma and terrorism these kids are causing. They're terrorists. They're the biggest threat to our country, not skinheads. It's these Antifa motherfuckers. Like, you know, Portland needs to be invaded by the army. Fuck going to Iran. Like, Portland needs to be invaded. New York, San Francisco, Berkeley, LA, Austin. I'll just stay inside. I know Austin, but these assholes are fucking strong here too. These are fucking monsters. They're monsters. You know? If I had a chance, I'd break my foot off in one of their asses, or a couple. You know, I don't like to fight. I will if I have to. I'm not afraid to fight, but I don't like to fight. People really don't see me angry. And when they do, people like flip out. Because I'm really chill. I'm really chill. I don't get pissed. You know? Maybe verbally a little bit, I'm going off and cursing and stuff, but I'm not like, but once I get angry, I get mad. So anyway, it's just really, I don't know, it's really disturbing that I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think something's going to go down. I think they're going to fuck with the wrong person. Some people are going to get shot up and, or set on fire, or bombed or something. They might use it to stage a false flag, or to stage a false flag. But you know, at that point, I'm over it. If the police aren't going to do anything, it's like the powers that be are trying to invoke violence, invoke a war. They're trying to invoke a civil war. Because, you know, human nature, we're only going to put up with this shit for so long before somebody loses their fucking mind. And some of these kids really get hurt. Maybe that's what they need to really understand what assholes they are. It's like, if you've ever seen the Yuri Bezmenov interview where he's talking about how to brainwash a nation, that's totally what's been done. And he has a great saying where he's just like, they'll never get it. They'll never get it until there's a boot on their neck. Then they'll get it. Then they'll get it. You know? I'm paraphrasing. He says it cooler. He's like, they won't get it unless there is a shoe on the back of the neck. You know, I don't know, that's my really bad Yuri Bezmenov impersonation. I don't think I'll be winning an Oscar for that one, but anyway. Yeah, but those are my thoughts on that. Fucking Riverdance on their balls. I hate them so much. Fucking Antifa. Anti-terrorists that are really terrorists. Fucking man, they just need their ass kicked. For real. Alright guys, that's it. Peace and love. Talk to you later. Bye. Mwah.